Minnesota Timberwolves back on their feet again. Welcome to 9 to noon on a Talkback Talker Tuesday. We will have Talkbacks today. Thanks to Northern Fire, we have a prize to give away somewhere during the course of the radio presentation. Nordo produces. I'm Paul Allen. Eric was the master mixer of the Monday montage on a Tuesday because the Timberwolves beat the Denver Nuggets last night in a game that ended after midnight. When do we go to the Eastern Conference? Is it Seattle or Vegas that gets a team, and then we start getting like that Toronto-Cleveland time slot at 6 o'clock? Is that right around the corner?
Can that be next season, please?
Holy cow. We're still having fun. Both series are tied at 1. Wild lose to Dallas. I mean, I ain't going to covenant clap the Dallas Stars because this is the Dallas Stars, but low-key covenant claps to the Dallas Stars. Wow, did they play well last night.
Yeah, they woke up.
We're still having fun, though. But both series are tied at 1. Anybody notice those Denver Nuggets tongues dragging the final 4 minutes last night? I did. The only people more tired than them were named Van Winkle, and their great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy named Rupp was rolling over in his grave.
I always love that one.
Joker airball from 3. Tired legs.
I always love that one.
Jamal Murray front rim after front rim. Tired legs.
I always love that one.
Christian Brown misses a massive free throw with 19 seconds to go. Why? Tired legs. Yeah. Props to a man named Javier Gillette. He leads the Minnesota Timberwolves strength and conditioning crew. The Minnesota Timberwolves sports performance and medical team gets the low-key MVP award for the win last night because our guys were in shape and their guys got tired walking downstairs. Covenant claps for the behind-the-scenes types with the sports performance and the medical team. And don't forget about the nutritionist. That made a major difference last night. What happened? Holy cow, did those Nuggets get tired. And congratulations to the Timberwolves for the W. I mean, props to the team nutritionist. I mean, we must eat orange slices at halftime to stay fresh while they mash on candy and greasy food and go looking for a comfy place to go to bed as the witching hour approaches. It was a W for the Howl, an L for the Nuggets, and the game was all about Denver's porous D, according to Jaden McDaniels. He was quite frontal after the game when sharing the keys to beating the Denver Nuggets.
The keys offensively is to really getting over these.
Go out to Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team.
Come on!
Like, just go at it.
They're all bad defenders.
Yeah, they're all bad defenders.
Just to consider that for the table. And it feels like you guys constantly reacting.
Yeah, they don't got people that could defend the rim.
Let's go.
And if he is there, we still more athletic than them, and just got to be able to finish when we do.
Is there a discipline involved in just staying in that attack mode?
Yeah, you gotta
works.
Yeah, just sometimes you gotta know when to attack and when the right moments, and just if it's your time to shoot it or pass it. But either way, if you just break the paint, you're gonna have a shot, or someone else is gonna be open.
You either break the paint, you're going to have a shot, or somebody else is going to be open. Why? Because they got bad defenders. Hey! Preach, Jaden McDaniels. Hey, for the Howl-loving members of the Covenant, can we play the first 20 seconds of that again? So we could just hear Jaden McDaniels say, well, yeah, the key is going at that guy, and that guy, because none of them want to play defense.
The keys offensively is to really getting over these.
Go out to Jokic, Jamal, all the bad defenders, Tim Hardaway, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, the whole team. Like, just go at it.
That's all we needed to hear.
Thanks to Christopher. I woke up to that this morning, and I'd seen that Christopher Hine had taken the video and posted that.
Holy cow.
They're all bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised old schoolers like Dan Issel and Alex English and maybe T.R. Dunn, who was a good defender, didn't catch strays there.
I always love that one.
I mean, he went up and down the bench. Yeah, the key is going at Jokic and Murray and Cam Johnson and Tim Hardaway Jr. and so and Cam John, because they're all bad defenders. I mean, preach with that, Jaden McDaniels. That was frontal. And I would say, all right, well, game 3 Thursday night, now you got to back it up.
Yeah.
But he can back it up. He can back it up because Slim plays defense.
He's an elite defender.
Slim is an elite defender, but most importantly, he plays for a team that compensates the right people in the sports performance and medical teams, because we're not out of shape. Hey, we're in shape. We're still having fun because we stayed away from Cinnabon. Chris Finch joins around 10 from the Mile Get High City. Game 3 is here Thursday night, sometime between the Dallas Cowboys first pick and the Minnesota Vikings at 18. Ben Gessling joins us on draft dissection at about 10 o'clock. Jokic and Murray were 2 for 13 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They were tired. Why? Because we did what I and others thought we would do in game 1. Run them to the ground, or as Nordo likes to say, run like the Wolves. Can I get a howl? I know, yes! Ooh. Hey! Oh, that was a long howl. That was beautifully
I'll see
done.
you next segment.
Chris Finch, Finchy, 10 o'clock. Jokic and Murray, 2 of 13 in the fourth quarter. We're happy for all of them. Cam Johnson, hands on knees, panting with 3 minutes to go. Jamal Murray, panting so hard during the final timeout, I almost called the Presbyterian St. Luke's Medical Center to send an ambulance post-haste because I was worried for the young man.
I always love that.
Shoulders were going up and down.
You doubted the elevation.
Finchy.
Strength training probably had them. They showed up there on Thursday so they could walk up to Pikes Peak before game 1 to make sure they were ready for the Mile High.
Finchy. Hey, Nuggets, Jaden McDaniels wants to know how that cheeseburger was at halftime.
I always love that one.
Jamal Murray panting so hard during the timeout. Chris Finch at 10 o'clock. Probably FEWA, Fairness and Wolves Act. Probably not best to get down 19 like we did in the first half.
Yeah.
But that's when the Nuggets, we're down to 8. They get to make plays too, right? It's probably not best to get down 19 in the first half. But that's when the Denver Nuggets were not in need of albuterol inhalers just to execute their toil. Hey! Thank you.
It was crazy, though, last night. Everything falling for them early, PA. But they kind of had, I would say, what we saw from the Wolves in game 1, I think there was a bit of a mirroring effect where they kind of started clomping around, getting fat and happy, stupid passes, bad shots.
Yep, second quarter.
And specifically in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And then where that composure, and you can ask, maybe you'll ask Finch about it, because one of his post-game comments I really loved is he talked about what they lacked in game 1 was composure. And you can look to the moment, like we got Jaden shoving Jokic under the hoop, stuff like that. But composure leading to more stability across the offense. And in particular, the ball movement, you heard it during the montage, Alan Horton calling it out multiple times during the get back on our feet again montage. Mm-hmm. The ball movement and the composure throughout that game, maybe led by Anthony Edwards, I would say, based on watching the whole thing. I think that was a big factor in them evening things up despite a pretty hideous start.
Yeah, that definitely will make the equation with Chris Finch today, 9 to noon at 10 o'clock. The bear will be poked a little bit today with Finchy. And what I mean by that is there was some news that broke yesterday in the National Basketball Association, and strangely, the only person who didn't make the top 3 finalists for Defensive Player of the Year, other than Rudy Gobert, was
Dudy Eby.
And I don't think Chris is super happy about that. Ooh. So it's going to be like, hey, Chris, who was behind that decision?
Jerkass!
Then I'm going to be like, here, Anthony's press conference.
Watch your language in front of the lady, punk!
Then I'll be like,
welcome back to the show.
It's good to have that extra day for the Timberwolves. Thursday night, right around 8:30, 8:40, 8:50, with a Game 3 of this playoff series against the Denver Nuggets. For those who fell asleep, Rudy was excellent despite foul trouble, handled Jokic with aplomb, and when it mattered, and he switched to Jamal Murray on Denver's final shot, which, of course, was a miss because Jamal Murray was panting like Linval hungry after the scoop and score at Philadelphia. Everybody remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man. Hey,
oxygen mask meme.
Get off that oxygen mask, man, because these are the playoffs.
Get in here. I got one thing to say. This is when the big dogs come out. Okay? You can't roll with the big dogs. Stay on the board.
Fija, fairness and Jamal Murray act. He's otherworldly when he has his breath.
Yeah.
Holy cow, has Jamal Murray gotten good? He was hitting shots from all over the place, and he was getting to the basket, and then all of a sudden he got tired. He got tired. They got tired. Jaden McDaniels ripped their defense, and the series all of a sudden is tied at 1. Now, we missed 11 free throws and won the game.
Yeah.
We missed 11 free throws and won the game. Our best player is on one knee, and we found a way to win the game. The Nuggets managed 3 4-point plays in the first quarter, and we won the game. They had multiple 4-point plays. State of hockey. All right, neutral zone trap this, last change that. A 4-point play means they hit a 3-pointer and we fouled them, then they went to the foul line and they made the free throw. Why did they make the free throw? Because at that stage of the game, they were not requiring albuterol inhalers to execute their toil.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
They got tired, man. Don't blame me.
Yeah, they did.
Only
2 free throws for Murray, though. I think that's part of the talker, too, is he does this bit. It's right on the ends of the free throw line. Do you notice that? He's got his spot, right? People have their spot. And we didn't let him get to his spot as often. Now, he was great from beyond the arc. He had 6 triples last night. But the 2 free throws, that disparity from 16 in game 1, I thought that was massive.
Yeah, that was massive. There were so many interesting things that took place early compared to late. Like, we're down 13 at one point.
Yeah.
And I'm peeking at the tweet machine. And this was, let's see, Duchesne scored. I was walking the Cats. It was 2-1 Dallas.
Oh, what a sequence that was, by the way. Both screens up. You had to wait like 5 or 6 real-time minutes for the broadcast just to get to the freaking game, the Wolves game in the first place.
You got 2 screens?
And, yes, I do.
Damn.
And
damn, man, I got to get out to that neighborhood. Seriously, those Western burbs, that's what they tell me about.
So I'm watching the Wolves allowing the Nuggets. I mean, again, just Clomper's paradise. They're on a 10-0, 12-0 run at that point. I think it finished at 15. And they just smashed a bucket on to make it 10 or 12 in a row for the Nugs. And you just look up and, oh, my goodness, Rantanen, perfect pass to Duchesne. Faber chasing. It's 2-1 Dallas.
Jeez.
Awful moment last night.
Yeah, I missed that goal. I was walking the Cats.
Yeah, you were.
2-1 Dallas.
In the cul-de-sac?
Well, I mean,
sweatpants?
It was either make black coffee at that stage of the evening or go out and get some fresh air and leave the folly behind for a second.
Do you leash the cat?
I mean, I left the house. And the Howl was up 11-7, and I came back and they were down 17-11.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what happened? So then I flip over to the heir apparent, and I'm like, damn, we're down 2-1. What happened? Duchesne scored. So then I go to the X machine, and Anthony Edwards is getting savage for his lack of defensive interest. I'm like, well, this evening's going pear-shaped. That's the bad news. The good news is, might be able to go to bed a little earlier than thought.
I always love that one.
Then Murray closed on that his second 4-point play. He had 2 4-point plays in the first quarter. And the Denver Nuggets, the reason I went there is off those free throws and 3-pointers with Murray, is Denver at one point had 5 3-point makes in the first quarter alone after they shot 27% from 3 in game 1. And I was hoping that wasn't a harbinger. But then I go to the tweet machine, and Johnny Athletic had a tweet. John Krasinski, Johnny Athletic, Nuggets up 13, and Jokic hasn't taken a shot. Wolves in deep trouble. It was the proverbial emotional roller coaster last night for many of us.
Yeah, it was.
But we're still having fun. Why? Because both series are tied at 1. And that's fine. Dallas looked really good. Everybody's hating on Foligno. Everybody was hating on Anthony Edwards' defense. And Dante DiVincenzo is the real deal. Holyfield. Chris Finch joins at 10 o'clock today. Make sure you are there for that. He had a sneaky, low-key MVP type move last night, did Finchy. He gave Anthony Edwards a nice long rest in the second half, and it made a difference late because Anthony was fresh and he had popped to his game on that bulky knee. What Chris did was he pulled Anthony for slow-mo with 2:41 to go in the third quarter. And he put him back in with 8:52 remaining in the contest. So then you get the timeout and the break between quarters and then just natural breaks during the course of a basketball game. And I think that was 12 and a half minutes of real lifetime. And it was key to keeping that knee from barking at Anthony Edwards. Sneaky smart move there by Finchy. Because we were not winning the game when he opted to do that.
And it's, the growth from game to game. That's why, in the playoffs, we talk about it, any issues that we encounter over the course of the season, maybe come playoff time, we'll forget them. And then when they rear their ugly heads again, like some of them did in game 1, we're frustrated, we're irritated. You're opening yesterday's show talking about Ant dribbling the ball into the abyss, the ball movement. In game 2,
because to whom much is given, much is expected, like those who live in Chaska with 2 TVs.
I always love that one.
In one of the biggest moments of the game last night, Ant makes the extra pass to the aforementioned DiVincenzo, who hits an absolute dagger-deep 3 that effectively it trended the mudslide towards the point of no return for the Nuggets, and that was a massive moment. Just in one game, 2 days later, Ant making a different decision leads to victory.
Well, no doubt, but I am still absolutely astounded. Legitimately, all Rip Van Winkle, cheeseburger, albuterol inhaler jokes to the side. I'm astounded how tired the Denver Nuggets were in the final 4 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
It was
those clanks at the rim, man.
Yeah. And they all were front rim. And in the business, if Spearfish is listening, he knows when they're all front rims because your knees are tired. Your legs are tired. You can't get elevation. My heavens. Joker shot an air ball from 3. Murray went front rim. Now, we did have a little problem of our own, and I don't necessarily know if it was due to fatigue, but that was kind of a key moment rather late in the game and about 2 feet from the basket. Slow-mo air ball.
I always love that one.
2 feet from the basket, slow-mo air ball. Got pulled out, played 5 minutes. Old people get tired.
5 minutes, 0 for 1.
Yeah. And Bones' minutes, I can't wait to talk to Finch in 40 minutes because it now is so abundantly apparent to me, unless he takes me deep on the suggestion, like Ayo Dosunmu had played 4, maybe 5 playoff games before this series. Now, Bulls against whomever in a series they lost, that ain't the same thing as this rivalry between the Wolves and the Nuggets. That was their 30th game last night in like the last 3 or 4 years. So as the kids would say, this is a thing. It's different than when you're coming off the bench for the Bulls. Dosunmu and Bones Highland, it's apparent to me, they needed that race on Saturday. They needed the race. Dosunmu was okay. I thought he shot too many threes. And Bones was so bad he had to be pulled after 5 minutes. Well, Bones' minutes doubled last night. He hit 3 3-pointers, went 4 of 5 from the field. He was a different guy. Dosunmu mostly was a different guy. Why? Because this whole sucker is eye-opening if you haven't been in it. And if you haven't played in situations like this with that intensity level and just the atmosphere and everything in the Mile Get High City. So they, especially Bones, man, he made some foolish decisions. Like we had a 3-on-1 one time and he decided to be a hero and ended up charging when he could have passed it to a guy for an easy 2. But kids at a time. They need these 2 games and they will be better for it game by game by game by game by game. All right, so here's the deal. Courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes us sharing Dallas played an excellent game last night. Tied that hockey series at 1. Lakeville go crazy. Your kid, Jake Ottinger, fantastic. Game 3 over there, St. Paul way is tomorrow night. Former Wild winger and NHL Network analyst Mike Rupp joins us about 9:45. Pat Micheletti, beloved Mick Tocchet, also on said Tocchet Topic. That'll take place in the final hour, probably a couple of hours from now. And this also is a Northern Fire Talkback Tuesday. Wolves and Wild Talkbacks next segment, and whatever's on your mind via the free iHeart Radio app. You know how to do it. Find the microphone, little baby microphone. You get up to 30 seconds. Wild and or Wolves with Talkbacks next segment and sprinkled in during the course of the show. And unless I'm mistaken, I believe there's a prize tied to this talkback scenario on a Talker Tuesday. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Big thanks to Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply, the tastiest talkback. So whether it's the Howl, it's the Wild, tough loss in Dallas last night, chime in via the free iHeart Radio app, and one of those talkback talkers are going to win a free $25 gift card to Northern Fire Grilling and Barbecue Supply. So a Talker Tuesday, courtesy of Northern Fire.
Chris Finch, 10 o'clock, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Finchy. And the cash thing is right now. Good morning. We're still having fun. Both these big spot series are tied at 1.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. You can go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword win, and you might win with the keyword win at KFAN.com.
From a Wild standpoint, man, I mean, it's the Dallas Stars absolutely should be credited for their wherewithal and their bounce back and their pushback and their effort last evening. Marcus Foligno went pear-shaped and slammed Harley, their ballyhooed young defenseman, down to the ice. Got himself a double minor. Howl fans of the Timberwolves, that's 4 minutes and penalties, and Harley got himself 2. Dallas did not score during that sequence, but Wild Nation is quite frustrated with number 17 right now. The really one of the more frustrating parts of the night last night for me with the Minnesota Wild game is 20 minutes before the game, it pops that Zucchi's out, that Matt Zuccarello is going to be out of the game with an upper body bit. So Tarasenko goes to the top line. That's fine. Bobby Brink takes Vladdy's spot on the third line. I guess that's fine. He was making his playoff debut, doing the very best he could to hit those stars and finish the forecheck and things like that. But Matt Zuccarello is so silky smooth and so hot right now that it's interesting that they lose when he doesn't play, and things just looked a little different. Mike Rupp of NHL Network, he'll be joining 15 minutes from now. Mick Tocchet about 11:25. But what was strange for me is in following at Russo Hockey or Joe Smith with The Athletic or whomever, maybe Big Spot KG, during the course of the day via social media, via X, and I hope I'm not wrong with this because I didn't go back and look to make sure I'm right. Why? Because I'm tired. Why? Because we're not in the Eastern Conference yet. Why? Because Toronto and Cleveland get the 6 o'clock slot, and we do nothing but play at 9:50 after the hockey team starts at 8:45, and we're up all night. Copyright Boomtown Rats. But I'm quite positive Zuccarello took part in the morning skate.
He did,
for sure.
Yes, he did.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean the
first place I heard it, I believe, was Gorgie himself on the FanDuel Sports North pregame.
Damn, man.
And then I think Wild PR posted it either shortly before or shortly after.
Really?
Because I'm
20 minutes before the game is when it popped.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. I'm trying to get kids organized and everything, and I'm watching the pregame, just pumped. It's game 2. Gorgie hits us Well, we've received some news that Zuccarello's not going to play, so I'm scrambling. I'm like, what the hell have I missed over the last 7 hours?
Right.
And neither of them, and I always go to Russo and Joe when I need hockey-related insight and intel. So
Same.
It looked like it popped relatively late. Was it something that happened? I didn't see Heinze's postgame, so I don't have an update on Zuki. But yeah, that was kind of a jarring late scratch, at least as far as I was concerned.
And then a player named Blackwell for the Dallas Stars just levels our lead the NHL in hits guy, Tranian. I mean, just leveled him. So now we're going to get into the age-old hockey talker with Mick Tokic. It was a legal hit. Tranian needs to keep his head up. I mean, head up, eyes up. I guess that's what the situation was there.
Well, I had hockey fans telling me that actually, and I don't know who gave him that pass, but I had several buddies who were telling me that it was the passer's fault.
Yeah, it was Bogosian.
That he put him in a spot where he had to turn.
Yeah, it was a hospital ball.
Leave his focus, and he just got, I mean.
That's a good point.
Unbelievably destroyed by Blackwell.
It was a hospital ball.
It was.
There's no doubt about it.
But, Brink, I mean, one of the, and there were so many different elements of game 2 that were different. Clearly, Dallas woke up after game 1. But that cool moment, that was an awful swing in their favor where Brink feeds Urhoff for that shot front doorstep. Yeah. Ottinger, it's over for you.
Yes.
But Ottinger woke up. He was unbelievable last night, makes the save.
Yep.
And I think on the very next move for Dallas into the zone, it's that wonky Johnston goal.
1-0.
Giving me bad memories of Kane and the stanchion.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because there was a point in the game, and I think it finished this way, but just from an eye test, this is what it feels standpoint, instead of trying to find the expected surrogate suppression rate or the high danger chances in the danger zone. There's danger, Will Robinson. There's danger, Will Robinson. We had, Ottinger. That personifies he stole a game for us.
Oh, he's so good,
but not the whole game. All right, so state of hockey, hear me out here. Okay, Ottinger, now Dallas outplayed the Wild for the totality of the game. Ain't going to complain about the Zuki injury or Tranian leaving the game because of the Blackwell hit when you're down Rupp Hintz. And he is a major, major game changer, and I think he's their second-line centerman, and he triggers their rush, and they've had to go without him for quite some time. So it all evens out. But when you hear the age-old adage of that guy needs to steal us a game for these 9 reasons, with Urhoff in the slot, like Nordo just shared, he had an excellent chance after Brink. Bobby Brink and that awesome forecheck and the pass, taking advantage of a Harley turnover. That's a 55. That's that ballyhooed kid. He turned it over. We had a forecheck. We had a pass that was beautiful from Brink in his first playoff game. Urhoff right there in the slot, and Ottinger stops him. Johnston scores a few seconds later. It's 1-0. Matt Boldy had at least one glorious opportunity to score.
The breakaway?
Yeah, the breakaway for sure. Yeah, the breakaway is the A topic. And put an O around the arena, man, as in Ottinger, because he just would not be denied last night.
They were talking about it on the broadcast. Boldy's so good at the 5-hole.
Yeah.
But Ottinger is a guy, despite being 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is, big kid, he sits extremely low in the net.
Right.
And they had a graphic showing just if you're going to beat Ottinger, you got to go high, right? It's almost, I feel like we had these Corey Crawford conversations with Pat Micheletti 8 years ago about going high. And, but he tried high glove side, I think. And again, Ottinger just freaking on one. He was spectacular last night.
And Kaprizov, you see, this is where the 9 to noon covenant does not claim to be elite Brett Hull minds, where it's like Kaprizov was not as effective last night as he was game 1. So now, does that mean the coach who had never won a playoff game until last night, did they put a focus on him to neutralize him, or was he missing Zuki?
Oh, my gosh.
Might have been missing Zuki.
I don't know. He was like, on that first Faber goal, though.
Yeah, how about Brock Faber last night? Wow.
Faber had his moments, and he scored both their goals, and we love him for it.
He's the best player in the series for both teams. It's not close.
But Hughes and Kaprizov on the ice at the same time, and leading up to that goal, were like freaking snake charmers out there. Completely lulled them into a coma, and it was Faber like a shot, just getting up there for the goal. It was a beautiful moment, but you're right. There wasn't a ton of space out there, it felt like. And that's a credit to Dallas for 97 not having the productivity it did in Game 1.
Yeah, Mike Rupp, former Wild forward, about 10 minutes from now. And Pat Micheletti in the final hour on that topic. Chris Finch, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, 22 minutes from Mark. Talkback Talker Tuesday. Cool Northern Fire prize to be given away somewhere during the course of the show. Let's fire up these talkbacks, see what the people have to say.
This is Michaela from St. Paul. And all I got to say is, Dallas, you played your best game and you still didn't have much on us. I mean, you had one lucky goal. That's it. I mean, we're standing on business and we're back in St. Paul tomorrow night, so bring it on.
Bring it on!
We got you right where we want you.
Mm-hmm.
Go Wild.
Go Wild!
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Next.
Wolves.
Hey.
What's up, boys? What a game last night. Holy cow, I think I lost 10 pounds just sitting in my chair sweating. What a game.
Lucky.
Also, Dante, look at those gorilla. plus 20.
Yeah.
My guy, Dante DiVincenzo. Extend him. Let's go. Wolves in 6. Have a great day, boys.
Yes, the plus 20.
Isn't that something?
That's coming up with Finchy, because DiVincenzo is 2 for 2 in these games. Gobert is 2 for 2 in these games. That's it.
Yeah.
McDaniels tried to be 2 for 2 in the game, but in these games, he was 1 of 1 last night. Got shut out a little bit in the first game because of ball hogging. Edwards, I don't think he's 2 for 2. No, he was a high end 1 for 1 last night. And how about Julius Randle grabbing 9 rebounds?
There we go.
The bully was the bully again, messing with Joker and down by the paint and everything.
And getting to the rim.
Getting to the rim and getting to the paint and getting to the rim and getting to the talkbacks.
Night and day between Game 1 and Game 2. Poor discipline, stupid penalties, and the thing that got me the most, the end of the game, too many men on the ice penalty.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a peewee penalty.
That's
horrific.
That's an elite hockey
It could
run.
cost your coach his job.
Well, until the end, and that was stupid.
Yeah, that's a fact. I don't know about that.
Last part's not a fact. It ain't going to cost anybody any jobs. But, yeah, it was dumb. And I don't know whose fault it was. I see what they were doing. I mean, they were trying to pull Wally, and they had too many. We got too many men out there. No! That was key, no doubt. Rupper, as they used to call him in the business. Mike Rupp, NHL Network, next. When he was changing games and winning Stanley Cups for the New Jersey Devils, they called him Rupper. And he finished his decade-and-a-half career here with the Minnesota Wild. And Mike Rupp is nice enough to join us now to talk about the world of hockey. You can watch NHL Network with Mike Rupp on NHL Now. And NHL Tonight throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs. And you might even fall into our old friend Bruce Boudreau, who does work with NHL Network. And I heard him on NHL Radio yesterday. Mike, it's Paul Allen. How are things, my man?
I'm good, PA. How you doing, man?
Right on. Thank you very much for the time. The Dallas Stars tied a series with the Minnesota Wild last night. And, all right, so we got Game 3 here tomorrow night. It's bump and grind. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and it's fantastic. But let me ask you this. And see, the tough part of this question, Mike, is that I don't exactly know when the players for sure knew Matt Zuccarello was not going to play. But he's obvious. The reason I bring it up is he's so important. He's important to Kaprizov, and he's on a roll right now with the passing and the vision and anticipatory skills and things like that. So when you learn at the guy's in the skate, you think he's going to play, and then like a half hour, 45 minutes before the game, you learn he's not going to play. Like, what does that do to a room?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I honestly, I don't think it does too much probably in that moment. I just find that that doesn't mean the player, in this case, Zuccarello or any players, doesn't mean they're not important in that role. I mean, he certainly is, just as a veteran, and just he's been through the grind many, many times and has this calming presence. Just the way he has kind of carried himself in his career. I remember Young Zook. I played with Young Zook with the New York Rangers. He's just one of those lovable guys you love having in the room. But when you find that out before the game, I mean, you got so much on your plate. All you can really focus on is what your job is. And I think after the fact, or even if you have a little bit more time, that's maybe where you sit there and you think about what that player is not being in the lineup is going to do to the group. But this is nothing new. I mean, guys know that they've got to step up and have big moments, and there's opportunities to be had. So, honestly, I think it's just so much on your plate that you don't really think twice about it.
Who did you, the series, in the betting markets, Mike, was basically 50-50, despite Dallas having home ice. So who did you like into the series between the Wild and the Stars? And after 2 games, who do you like moving forward?
Yeah, so I thought this series is going to go 7. I mean, this is the one that I just have so much respect for each team. I picked the Wild in 7. I'm going to still stick with that right now. I think that you saw some pushback in Game 2 by the Dallas Stars, which you would expect. They're an elite team that, quite frankly, got their lunch money taken in a lot of aspects of the game in Game 1. So they're going to be a prideful group on home ice and push back. I thought individual players on their team had much better Game 2s. So yeah, I mean, it's going to go the distance. It's a long series, and you can't, just like the Stars you can't really fret on what happened in Game 1. At the end of the day, you got to respond. And now it's the Wild's turn to respond on home ice. That place is going to be insane. It's going to be a great atmosphere, but there's tons of things, even in yesterday's game, last night's game, I should say, that were very positive, I thought, for the Wild. So, again, I think the big thing when you're going into a series, especially when you win the first game 6-1, it's just, you almost have to tell yourself, it's going to be a long series. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I'm not saying the Wild did at all, but I think from my experiences, when you just put it in your head that there's going to be the ups, there's going to be the downs, you just got to do your job and stay kind of even keel. It's going to benefit you. And that's what I'm expecting from the Wild. Well,
I mean, you scored some big goals in your career, including one, I believe, 20 some odd years ago to win a Stanley Cup for the New Jersey Devils. So the point being here is, like, Ottinger had his problems in Game 1 and really in the last couple of games against the Wild after he went a couple of years basically giving up nothing. But you could tell in the early stages when a couple of players like Urov and Boldy, they got loose, and they generally, especially Boldy, scores on plays like that, but Ottinger kept snatching them out of the air or blocking them or whatever. So when you have wonderful chances and you just keep getting denied, how do you push through that frustration as the game goes on?
I mean, you're getting those opportunities. I think that's one of the great things in hockey, dating back to when you're a kid. You have coaches tell you, you're getting opportunities. There's good things happening. And there were some point blank opportunities. Jake Ottinger's glove was looking really good in last night's game. He's one of the best goalies in the league. So the fact that you hung that many goals on him in Game 1, you knew there was going to be a pushback because you're not considered to be an elite goaltender unless you have that cachet, and he certainly does. But there still looks the Wild. I don't see any time where, I mean, it's going to be a tight checked series, but there's going to be opportunities. There's going to be some good ones. I think the one thing going for the Minnesota Wild is their zone exits, their zone entries. They're elite in that category. So if you can get clean through the neutral zone. You can create and then get into the offensive zone, spend some time down there. I mean, they're going to get some more looks. So, you know, at the end of the day, Jake Ottinger made the saves last night, but if you give those opportunities to Matt Boldy, he's going to bury some of them. So, you stay positive, you stay encouraged, and you're getting the looks, and that's the first and foremost.
A former Wild winger, Mike Rupp, part of NHL Network's NHL Now and NHL Tonight coverage throughout the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I've been watching a fair amount of that lately. You guys do wonderful work at NHL Network. Outside of the Wild and Dallas series, Philadelphia is up 2-0 on the Penguins. All right. Now, the Penguins, it's quite the aged team, and Philadelphia had to work really hard to get into the postseason, but Philly going to Pittsburgh and winning twice. How big of a surprise was that?
Massive. It's a really big surprise. I think that both teams were tied in points in the regular season, but, you know, Philly had that late push to kind of get in the playoffs, and it was kind of a crazy season in general in the National Hockey League where, I mean, I thought probably a month and a half left of the season. I thought the Flyers were done, you know, and they put together this run and taking advantage maybe of some other teams not winning their games, and they get in, but they're playing. It's tough when you watch it because the Penguins look so much not like themselves all season. They're a team that generates. They don't defend really well, but they generate a ton of offense or offensive looks, and they're not really getting those. So it's like, I don't think it's the Penguins not showing up. I think the Flyers are frustrating them. I think the Flyers are young. They're fast. The middle of the ice, they're clogging up. All those looks that the Penguins rely on, getting rush opportunities, those things aren't there. And, you know, they've kept Sidney Crosby in check and the superstars in Pittsburgh. It's pretty impressive.
Hey, that kid Martone, you know, I was watching the Wild, then I think the Flyers played the Bruins on a Saturday after, and this kid scored his first goal, and it was an overtime game winner against Pasternak, and he scored again last night. I mean, how good? I think his first name's Patrick. How good is he?
Porter Martone. He's a stud.
Yes.
He's a big body. He's got an incredible shot. He's got the nose for the net, and he's feeling it right now. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like you come straight from Michigan State, you get an opportunity, and also that's a big thing that's kind of changed this Flyers team because they all season long, like they don't have a Kaprizov, they don't have a superstar on that roster, but they got a lot of really good players. And so when you look through their lineup, they add Porter Martone out of college. They get Tyson Forrester back from injury that he was missing a big chunk of this season. Now all of a sudden you sit there and look at this group, and the way everyone's slotted, they got four lines that can impact games. So, Porter Martone has been their hottest player down the stretch. It's a pretty cool story for the kid, and he's going up against the team's biggest rival and going against Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Erik Karlsson, and this kid's kind of the talk of the town right now in Philly. It's pretty cool stuff.
Last one, league-wide, Tage Thompson's high end, but man, he really turned it up in that first postseason game against Boston. What a beast Tage Thompson is. Do you agree?
Oh my gosh, yeah. You know, it was kind of crazy because watching that game, I thought Buffalo game one played a really strong game. They're going to be a problem in the playoffs here. They're big, they're fast, they're playing physical. They didn't seem like they were playing outside their boots at all. And but the big thing with a guy like Tage Thompson, if you look at his first goal, if anybody's got an opportunity to go back and look at it, and the way that building got cooking after that, he's huge. We know this. He's got that long reach, big frame. His move behind the net, I was breaking it down, put it in slow motion the other day, and he pulls this puck in so tight. You know how we use in hockey the phrase like stick handle in a phone booth? I feel like we use that pretty loosely. That's like, oh, the guy's got great hands in small space. No, like literally if you drop the phone booth over this guy, he would have stick handled in there. His elbow was up above his head, and he was stick handling with his stick straight up and down, and then wraps this thing around inside the post. And I remember watching it and thinking, man, no one that size should be able to do that in that tight little space. And then we started like looking at it over and over again. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if there's many players in the league, regardless of size, that can pull that off. So he's so special because he's got that size, the hands, the skill. he's starting to put it all together here, and he's a force definitely for Buffalo.
Hey, man, great job on NHL Network with NHL Now and NHL Tonight. Thank you very much for the time. Enjoy the rest of the postseason. Okay, Mike?
All right, Paul. Thanks, man.
Yep.
Enjoy.
See you, bud. This is Mike Rupp, former Wild winger with NHL Network. Around the corner, Chris Finch, head coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, joins 9 to noon.